Hello, welcome to the weather update. It's a little after 10 o'clock on September the 7th, and another hot day across the area, a little more of a sea breeze. And you notice looking at the satellite picture that we had some pretty strong and severe thunderstorms popping up to our northwest. They're still there, and that'll be the first thing we're going to look at here on the radar right now. You can see there's a pretty nasty storm right here up in northwestern New Jersey, and there was a whole line that moved. We're going to just back this radar up here and look at the rewind radar here. Let's take you back to 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. You can see this line coming on through here. A pretty nasty line of thunderstorms here. It came through. Looks like some strong bowing, so maybe some strong straight line winds. And I'm also seeing, that's what I pointed out in the posts, these white hail cores here. So there may have been some decent amount of hail with these storms as well. All I could see was some faint lightning from here. They were way too far away to see. However, it was definitely impressive, to say the least, what popped up. So let's take a look at our current conditions outside right now. And you'll see here temperatures generally are in the upper 70s. We got 82 in the alley. So 78 right now at Islip, dew point 74. It's very humid, but a little more of a sea breeze that developed this afternoon, but it still managed to get above 90 today at Islip. You can see the 90s there, even with the southwest wind. It was just very weak, so temperatures really got up to the low 90s there. It was pretty hot across the area, and humid too as well. So let's take a look at what our highs were today on the map. And you'll see highs generally in the low 90s across much of Long Island, even out east, close to 90. 97 at LaGuardia, 92 at JFK, 92 at Islip, 93 at Farmingdale. And look at that, 99. Is that Teterboro? That's Teterboro. Man, that's hot. 97 at Newark. Looks like 97 in Toms River as well. So you're a little bit hotter there in Toms River, of course. Though got up to 96 in Carl Place. So, like I said, not a huge difference between here. 98 we reported at Belrose. So it was very, very hot today, though. At least by the afternoon, that breeze came in and dropped the temperatures down. And it did make a difference. So temp lows obviously only around 70 degrees. Let's go to the climate statistics for the day. And yeah, they have storm reports up there already. We're going to have to look at that too as well. So let's go look at our highs and lows for the day at Islip. Tied the record high of 92 set back in 1998. 92. So 4 days in a row of 90 or better at Islip. This is the longest heat wave of the season. 73 is the normal high. 78 is the normal high, so a whopping 14 degrees above normal for Islip for the high, and 13 degrees above normal for the day. And Central Park, let's see if they set any records. Nope, 93 there, and 14 degrees above normal there. That's quite an anomaly. Let's look at LaGuardia. They set a record of 96 degrees at LaGuardia, beating the record of 90 set in 1945. Wow. That's a whole 16 degrees above normal for the high, and that puts us 14 degrees above normal for the day. Let's look at Bridgeport. Also a record high there of 92. That broke the record set in 1983 of 78. They were 12 degrees above normal. And Newark, 96, also a record. Broke the record of 95 set in 2015. And they were about 14 degrees above normal for the day. So, yeah, a hot day across, let's see, JFK. JFK, 92, and they were running about 12 degrees above normal. So, yeah, pretty hot day across the whole area. And, yes, we do have storm reports from the severe weather here. Storm reports from Thursday evening, lower Hudson Valley. Yep, wind damage, that's what I figured. Wires down and burning. So, wires down, power outages in Orange County. So, it looks like Orange County got hit pretty hard here by some pretty strong straight line winds when these storms came through. And if I go back to the weather and hazards map, maybe we can get some of those straight line wind reports. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. So all the storms probably came through around here. So let's see if we can get an airport. Usually I think it's Stewart. Isn't there Stewart Airport? Yeah, Stewart. Let's see if they got have any wind reports here from when these storms came through. Yep, there you go. 47-mile-an-hour wind gust there. Look at how the temperature went from 91 to 68. That's one hell of a drop. That's one hell of a drop, that's for sure. And you can get that with these storms, too. But here's the thing. If we got a bad storm like that here in Mineola that knocked out the power and it was nice and cool out, I wouldn't be able to get any of that cool air in here. I'd be dying. All right? That's another problem with living here. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. That is very impressive. So, yeah, it looked like, because I saw the Boeing. So let's go to the power outage map. Look at this. New York in the red. We have 102,000 people without power right now. Very hard hit upstate. Dutchess County, 16,000. 13,000 in Orange County. Ulster County, 17,000. Columbia, 18,000. That's a real significant amount of power outage there. Rennell, see it. So all these counties upstate really got hammered with a lot of power outages here. And let's see who's got the most. It looks like Central Hudson Gas and Electric Corporation, followed by New York State, NYSEG as well. And Orange and Rockland has some. But hardest hit seems to be NYSEG as well. And Pennsylvania also getting hit hard by these storms as well. Susquehanna County seeing a lot of outages as well. Northampton. There was a risk for West Massachusetts as well. Western Massachusetts. Berkshire, nearly almost a little over 9,000 people without power there. 9,000 customers without power. Could be more people. Virginia, we also have a lot of power outages as well. In one county there, probably from a thunderstorm as well. But, yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. That's a really bad situation that we have. So, yeah, I'm going to actually go over to the NYSCG and see if we can get to their outage map. Let's see. View outage list. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we have any. They don't have a map. They just have a list, I guess. I guess they don't have an actual map. So they just have a list. What you can see is some pretty hard-hit areas. Columbia. These go by the counties, I guess, that they serve. But they don't actually have a map, oddly enough. You'd think they would have a map. Usually they have an outage map, but I guess they don't. Oh, wait, maybe they do. Nope, that's all that they're going to have. They don't have an outage. I guess you have to click on the county. So let's see. They serve Orange County. We have a lot of outages in Orange County, so let's see. Some of these are almost completely out. So there may be some transmission line damage, which wouldn't surprise me because the power grid upstate is not very good when it comes to high winds. We've got a lot of wood poles for the transmission system, so it would not surprise me. Then we have Central Hudson Gas as well. So Central Hudson Gas and Electric. Let's see. Go to them. See if they have an outage map or not. Severe storms. View current outages. Let's see. All right, so let's view the outage map and see what we have here. And there are quite a bit here. Oh, yeah, quite a bit. Quite a bit of large power outages here. These could be transmission damage over here for sure, which wouldn't surprise me. Again, they got a lot of wooden transmission lines, so it's probably a lot of this probably got damaged. You know, so yeah, this is going to be a big mess upstate. So real severe weather. Outbreak happened, and actually I saw it after I did the weather update last night, and kind of just, you know, all the other stuff going on both in my life and with the weather to watch. It's just, so here we go. They only had a marginal risk for our area, so we'll go look at tomorrow. Because guess what happens tomorrow? We have another risk for some more slight risk of severe thunderstorms just to our northwest, because you have this front that's going to come in and it's going to stall out over us. So if we go look at the weather map, you'll see there's that front there that's coming, but it's going to stall out just to the west, so we're going to have some stall front syndrome to play with, and that's going to trigger more of these thunderstorms that are going to cause more problems for us, unfortunately, which is kind of the last thing we need, but hey, you know, this is what it is. And why do I say that? Because the tropics are very active. Now say hello to Margot. But let's say hello to Lee first, which I think is a major hurricane now. Oh, yep, it is. What did I tell you? It was going to be a major hurricane tonight. Yeah, I knew it. So here we go. Lee is now a Category 4 hurricane already. The 5 o'clock advisory. Rip currents and hazardous surf will spread across the northern Caribbean Friday and begin affecting the mainland U.S. by Sunday. As of 5 p.m., its location 16 point north, 51.3 west, about 780 miles east of the northern Leeward Islands. Maximum sustained winds are 130 miles an hour, moving west-northwest at 15 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 953 millibars, 28.15 inches. I wouldn't be surprised that this might be the strongest Atlantic hurricane on record. I think it's definitely going to a Category 5. So at 5 p.m., the clear eye of Hurricane Lee was located near latitude 16.9 north, longitude 51.3 west. Lee is moving toward the west-northwest at 15 miles an hour. The hurricane will continue moving in this direction for the next several days while gradually slowing down its forward speed. On the forecast track, the core of Lee will pass north of the northern Leeward Islands during the next several days. Maximum sustained winds have rapidly increased to 130 miles an hour with higher gusts. Lee is a Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Additional strengthening is expected tonight, but fluctuations in intensity are expected after that, but Lee is forecast to remain a powerful, major hurricane well into next week. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 30 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 140 miles from the center. So, this is a pretty scary-looking storm, and let's look at the warning cone here as it looks like it's heading right for us. Of course, we're going to look at the models and we'll see what it's way too far out to know for sure what's going to happen with Lee. So, like I said, I think everybody on the East Coast needs to pay attention to this. But you can see here, it's going to stay a major hurricane. It's got plenty of warm water to work with and optimal conditions, very little shear. So it's going to be a really powerful storm. So let's take a look at Lee on the satellite here. And then we got to talk about Margaret, too. So this is Lee. Oh, wow, look at that. Classic buzzsaw. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Here you go. Take a look at that. That's really something. I wish I had more of the visible to show you, but wow. Well, we'll look at it on the Modus, but look at that. See it tightening up, man. That is incredible right there. That is truly incredible. So that's a perfect, very symmetrical storm. Classic look. Clear eye. That eye is completely clear in the middle. Look at that. That's incredible. Let's take a look at Lee on the Modus as well. You'll get to see. There's that really well-defined eye. Let's see if we can get a look at it. There you go. That's a really good look at it right there. There's that well-defined eye right there that you see. And here's Lee. And then here is the United States. And I'm not even going to talk about the smoke because this is just too much other stuff to talk about. I don't think we'll be seeing that much of it. But you can see this is, and then Margaret is over here, Tropical Storm Margaret. So, yes, we got to talk about Tropical Storm Margaret, too. So we're already up to the M's. We're going to the Greek alphabet this year. Oh, and Margaret's going to become a hurricane, too, but it's going to recurve out much sooner. So you can see here, public advisory on Margaret. Luckily, that is not going to be a threat to land. So Tropical Storm Margaret, located 16.8 north, 28.3 west, about 290 miles west-northwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. Maximum winds of 40 miles an hour. Moving west-northwest at 17 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 1,004 millibars, 29.65 inches. And I'm not going to really talk too much about Margaret because it's all really about Lee at this point. All right. So let's run the models here. And again, we're going to, we have to talk about the long range because of the threat of Lee as well as the short range. But let's go and first start with, and I will go to the North American view, and we're going to first start off with the jet stream here and show you the jet stream as we head into next week. So you see that jet stream stays way up into Canada. There's Lee. Here's the problem. So you got this ridge here in the Atlantic, so that's going to keep it steering west. But luckily, what winds up happening is we do have a trough coming in next week that will kick it out, but it could still affect Nova Scotia perhaps. This is, again, the GFS, right? So it's all about the placement of these things. If these features are in different spots, it's going to have a big effect on the forecast. And we're talking over a week away from today. So it's very hard to predict what's going to happen that far out. So I'm not saying to panic, but, it's even if it doesn't, it stays offshore. You think the flooding from Franklin was bad at Jones Beach. This thing is going to probably put the whole damn beach underwater past the boardwalk. It's going to be something to see, I'm sure. So let's go look at the European model, and we'll go look at the 12Z European model now and see if there are any differences here. Of course, again, the European a little bit different, a little further back with that trough. It pulls it much closer to us, and it looks like it brings a landfall into Maine. So the European takes it much closer. We continue to have this difference between the two models that you see here. European takes it much closer to us, right? Because the jet stream and the positions of things are different. So if we, again, look at the upper air here, you see the European is much stronger with the ridge in the Atlantic, all right? And the trough is much further west. And so it takes it very close to us here on Long Island. It takes it very, very close. But this could be a devastating storm for Cape Cod and Maine if the European was right, all right? GFS, on the other hand, takes it further away. It takes it more. But I'm still concerned because I see the ridge and then I see the trough, and it sort of looks like Sandy with the way it's going to catch it and pull it in. That's my concern at this point. And so I think it continues to bear watching. And if we go look at the actual East Coast here, and we'll go ahead and we'll look at the GFS and run this in. Let me take this out to the East Coast view here, Eastern U.S. view, so you get an idea of what the GFS would do with Lee. Here's Lee, and again, it just kind of turns it that really abruptly north like that, and then kind of just takes it right. The impacts would be just high surf for us with this type of setup here, and it would really just devastate Nova Scotia as a pretty significant hurricane. And it could probably be a Category 3 still when it gets there, I would think. But the European, on the other hand, let's look at the European now, and we'll go again to the 12s euro. The European takes it a lot closer to us, and this would definitely bring some. There would probably be hurricane conditions possibly on the east end of Long Island with this setup, and it would be a devastating landfall for Cape Cod into Maine. So you can see the difference here. The European is different. The GFS, Euro and the GFS have this disagreement. But again, we're talking a week out here, and it's going to be very hard to predict what's going to happen because a small difference is going to make a small change in the jet stream or where the trough is. It's going to make a big difference as to where this storm is going to go. But if it were to make a direct hit at us, it would probably be a Category 3 and a high-end one if it hit Long Island, and it would be a devastating storm. I don't think it would hit its Category 4 or 5, but it would be pretty bad. But we will go into some more graphic models a little bit later. Let's talk more about the short range right now because we're going to be dealing with some rain chances. Looking at the HRRR, you could see we have some rain chances. Again, most of them are inland, but you see there might be some shower and rain chances over Long Island as well, though it doesn't really look like anything substantial for us, despite it being, again, unsettled. We may not see that much rain at all. We kind of actually need some rain. It's been kind of dry here lately. See the dew points, that deep tropical moisture we're going to be in, mid-70s, south winds. You see your stall front right there, dry air off to the west. We're not going to get into any of that. We're going to be stuck in this for much of the weekend here. The good news is at least it won't be as hot because we'll see some more cloud cover and that onshore flow. So, well, actually, it will be hot. If you're in Jersey tomorrow, you're still going to be dealing with 90s. But for Long Island, we'll have temperatures generally probably in the low to mid-80s. So that'll help out a lot. And then similar thing for Saturday where it might heat up to close to 90 in Jersey, and we'll be dealing with low to mid-80s. And again, you can see where those storms pop up there. There'll be some cooling from those storms. But again, some of those storms could be on the strong side. So let's go to the RGM next and look at the skies. And then I'm going to want to go to some other models because it won't be cloudy all the time either. You'll see the sun out. The sun will come out at times tomorrow. And maybe some pretty clouds as well. And then as we get into Saturday, maybe a few more in the way of clouds, but we still see the sun. So it won't be dull and overcast. The Sunday might be a little more, but you will see the sun. It won't be completely dull and overcast. So let's go and talk more about these storms. So I first want to go to the Ventusky models. Let's do that. And I want to look at the Cape. So we're going to first look at that. You can see there's some pretty decent Cape right now. So let's go into tomorrow. There is good Cape over our area. So that's why there's a threat for severe. This is really impressive. This is really impressive Cape right here. So, yeah, I am concerned about severe thunderstorm. We may need a severe thunderstorm watch for tomorrow. Let's look at the lifted index. Through the roof. So we have a lot of instability tomorrow in the air. So this is not good at all. Tomorrow could be a very active day. What about Saturday? Also active. Look at all that cape. So yeah, we have very active. We could have a lot of severe weather happening here. Again, it would be scattered. It probably won't be a general line, but any thunderstorm that forms could be severe with such instability like this. So let's go to the wind gusts here, and I'm going to just run this through. We're going to actually see what it looks like. I don't know what model this is using. Oh, it's using the Icon model. Okay, let's change this. Oh, now it's using the GFS. Okay, so let's look at the GFS here. All right, so this would be, again, this would be Lee right here. All right, and then it would be moving fast, obviously, but you can see Lee would be devastating for Nova Scotia, but it would keep most of the wind away from us, and most of the impacts of the wind away from us. All right, this is again. Well, now it's showing the Icon. I'm kind of curious. The Icon I don't think goes far enough out. There's the GFS right here. All right, so here's the GFS, and again we can change the time, show you what it looks like at different times. So let's go Friday morning here, when it probably would make its closest approach according to the GFS. Sometime Friday would make its closest approach, and you can see we wouldn't be feeling the winds, but we definitely would have extremely high surf. And this storm is probably going to have a big eye again. I have a feeling it's going to have a big eye as well. It's going to develop a big eye. But let's go now to the windy.com model, which gives us a little more data, I think. And I don't know how much do I get of this. Yeah, I only get out till Thursday on this, though, because you have to pay now to go any further on that model for some reason. So it kind of sucks. If I wanted to see what the European would do for us as far as the wind go, I would have to go to Tidbits, because we can't really go any further than this on this particular model. It's as far as we can go. So I'd have to go to the Tidbits, which I don't like. It shows, but we have no choice. I guess I have to go to Tidbits because it's not going to. Windy doesn't go that far out. So let's go look at the European, and again we're going to look at the 12Z run. And again, we're going to show you what kind of wind it could bring to us. So here it comes. So this is let's go look at the winds. I don't like using this because, it doesn't give us wind. It just gives us here it is. All right, so here's the wind. You can see the east end could get into some of the high winds, though the worst of it would be on the Cape. So, at least it's not showing a direct hit for us. However, these tracks could always change. But one thing that we will have an effect on is if we go to the wave. Let's see, does this have a wave thing on here or it doesn't? I don't know if it does. Yeah, significant wave height. This would be the concern that we have. Look at those waves that we're going to have. So we'll have more information as we get again toward the weekend as we get closer and closer to this. But I'm really concerned about this thing, this Lee impacting us because of, it's not going to go all the way out to sea and make that classic right-hand turn. It's going to impact somebody here. Euro's obviously furthest west, and it would create a terrible impact on Cape Cod. Cape Cod would be destroyed if this thing hits Cape Cod. And Cape Cod that's the furthest west for the landfall, would be around the coastal Massachusetts, and then the further east would be Nova Scotia. But it looks like the miles kind of closing in on this. We can go back to the Tidbits section, go to storms, which I should do because we should talk about. We should show some more satellite imagery of Lee. Here's Lee again, by the way. So here you go. Look at that perfect buzzsaw look there. Just classic, very well-formed storm. Nearly perfect in every way. And let's look at the spaghetti models. We can look at the ensembles first of all. Which don't even show the land really too much. They all seem to recurve it, but they only go out to a certain point, and that's the key. This is your spaghetti models. They only go out that far, and that's it. And I don't know why models doing that. There's some kind of bug there. But those are your spaghetti models. All right. Oh, here we go. Here's the GEPS ensembles. As you can see, there's a further west track of Cape Cod. But look at how big this cone of uncertainty is. So, and this could always change. That's the thing. We're still so far out from this. And this is not an exact science, but you can see this is going to stay a powerful hurricane throughout. This is going to be, I think, one of the most powerful hurricanes to ever occur in the Atlantic Ocean. And I think it's going to be a record setter for sure. So that is going to wrap up this weather update as we deal with all these problems with the weather. Obviously, this is going to have to bear watching. If this were to take aim at Long Island, this would be an absolute devastating event. If it took the track of Sandy, let's just say, hypothetically, you would look at pretty much anything south of Merrick Road is just gone. And, these people have money in Long Beach. They're going to keep rebuilding somehow, but this is all part of what we talk about when it comes to climate change. We're going to see more and more storms like this, and it's only going to get worse, not better. But, this must be Margaret right here. So that's Margaret, looking kind of impressive as well. But that's going to go out and go right to the north. Maybe it'll hit Greenland. Why don't we get a hurricane in Greenland? Maybe that'll wake people up as to how screwed up we are. How screwed we are. We are screwed. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this weather update. So much going on. Have a good night.